The bikes would not be free for students, but could cost somewhere around 50 cents per half hour of use. The university will place bike racks at strategic locations around campus. Currently, SUU is asking for student input on where the bike racks should be located. If you have an opinion, contact your academic senator or SUSA representative.
SUSA's annual Shark Tank competition is helping fund new water bottle stations on campus. The competition started nearly 2 months ago when SUU students submitted ideas to improve SUU. The submissions were narrowed down to 3 finalists who presented to the judges Tuesday in the living room. Drea Briggs, a construction technology major, pitched the idea of adding more water bottle refilling stations to campus. Currently, there are 14 stations on campus, but Briggs suggested adding 4 more units to the school. Buying and installing the additional units would cost around $2,500. Briggs' idea beat out a Student Success Night event and a proposal to increase the wattage of campus light bulbs to win the competition.
SUU recently celebrated their donors on Thank a Giver Day. Our reporter, Chloe Howe, has the story.
It's time once again for SUU's annual Thank a Giver celebration. Thank a Giver Day, or Tag Day, is all about creating an opportunity for students to say thank you to all those alumni, friends, faculty, and staff who donate to the livelihood of the university. SUU thrives on the donations from the community.
But really, everything that we have on campus is because of donors. Like the new business building, if it wasn't for Dixie and Ann Levitt, we wouldn't have that building because they donated a big majority of what we're needing to have that building. And so really, without donors, we wouldn't even have a school.
From 8:30 to 1:30, 9 different booths were set up around campus for students to write a thank you card to express gratitude for our donors. In celebration of the day, the SUU Annual Fund also gave away a $500 scholarship to one lucky student. All you had to do was write a thank you card and snap a selfie or take a picture with a sign around campus to be automatically entered into the contest.
By giving scholarships, there's no better way for a student to have that, because coming to school is so expensive. We all know that. The cost keeps rising, and if we didn't have some assistance from scholarships, a lot of these students would be here today. So a lot of the things that we're thanking our donors for is because of that. Our beautiful buildings. We've got the business building that's coming up right now. We've got the sports performance building that's going to be built, and we've got the new child family care building that's going to be built. All that is only be able to be done because of our donors.
The only reason why I'm here is because of donors who gave money so that I could have a scholarship. So I am so grateful for the people who are willing to donate, the alumni who have been to SU and are giving back to the students who are coming, because it's literally the reason why I'm getting an education.
SUU truly wouldn't be where it is today without the support of our donors. For SUTV News, I'm Chloe Howe.
Today, the SUU bookstore will be holding its annual holiday sale. The bookstore will be extending its hours from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and a ton of items throughout the store will be on sale. This is open to the public, so don't miss your chance to get some SUU memorabilia at 30% off.
This year, the SUU community is reaching out to T-Birds who aren't able to go home for the Thanksgiving holiday. Different community members are opening up their homes to make sure everyone has a good break. You can sign up on your SUU portal to be paired up with a family in town. This is open to all SUU students.
This week is International Education Week all over the U.S. Our reporter Charlotte Thalhammer went out to see how SUU is celebrating the week here on campus.
International Education Week is an opportunity to celebrate the importance of worldwide exchange. It was created by a joint initiative of the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Department of Education and is taking place from November 13th through November 17th. International education in form of study abroad, language studies, or cultural exchange experiences prepares American students of all ages for a global environment and gives them an advantage for the future. Emily Forshee, an international student advisor from the International Affairs Office here at SUU, says that study abroad is only one opportunity to learn more about cultures.
It could be about the opposite, about how kids are coming from other countries to the United States and how they feel and what their experiences are. So it's very eye-opening for everyone involved.
For International Education Week, SUU has put together events such as karaoke night, a poetry slam, study abroad panels, or crafting stations where students from the U.S. and from other countries are welcome to come and mingle and make new friends.
I mean, who wouldn't want to make a friend? And you get to learn about different people's experiences from all over the world while you do it, so it's cool.
One of Donald Trump's primary campaign promises hit a unique snag this week. The card game Cards Against Humanity announced Wednesday that it purchased a section of the U.S.-Mexican border with the intention of preventing the government from building Trump's famous wall. The purchase of the land was part of a promotional stunt called Cards Against Humanity Saves America. 150,000 Cards Against Humanity players contributed $15 to the cause in return for a surprise package. The company hasn't disclosed the location or the size of the land purchased. They did say, however, that they hired a law firm specializing in eminent domain to, quote, make it as time-consuming and expensive as possible for the wall to get built. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about an Australian gay marriage survey.
And we'll fill you in on Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. Stay tuned.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The president of Zimbabwe is under house arrest today after an apparent military coup. On Wednesday, the Zimbabwean military took control of the capital and the state broadcasting service. The military says the takeover was not a coup, but the start of an effort to restore democracy to the African state. Zimbabwe's current president, Robert Mugabe, has controlled the country for over 37 years. The unexpected transition to military control was peaceful, but the future of Zimbabwe is largely unknown. South African President Jacob Zuma is sending his ministers of defense and state security to Zimbabwe to help control the situation.
Gay marriage has been legal in the U.S. for a while, and Australia might be taking a step towards legalizing gay marriage soon. On Tuesday, the country held a public opinion survey asking Australians, should the law be changed to allow same-sex couples to marry? 61.6% of votes were for the law change, while 38.4% voted no. Lawmakers introduced a bill last night that could legalize gay marriage in Australia by the end of the year.
Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore is being asked to withdraw from the December special election. Moore is accused of sexually assaulting two women in the late 1970s when he was 32. At the time, the women were 14 and 16. The story broke last Thursday in the Washington Post in an article claiming Moore had also dated three underage girls around the same time period. House Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called on Moore to step down yesterday, saying, quote, I believe the women, end quote. Senators John McCain and Ted Cruz have also withdrawn their endorsements of Moore. In a press conference Monday night, Moore said he had no intention of withdrawing from the election and is planning to sue the Washington Post.
The Cedar City Walmart is open again after a bomb threat last Sunday afternoon. A Walmart employee reported two men arguing in an RV on the northwest side of the parking lot at 2:30 Sunday. The employee approached the men, and one of them told the employee he had a bomb in the van. The building was immediately evacuated. The St. George Bomb Squad cleared the building around 3 hours later. The two men were taken into custody, but no charges are being filed. Police say one of the suspects was experiencing a mental health crisis, and the threat was taken out of context.
The cause of a shooting at a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas is still under investigation today. 26 people were killed and another 20 injured when a gunman opened fire at the First Baptist Church during their Sunday services. The gunman has now been identified as Devin Kelly. Kelly entered through the back of the building and fired until he got to the front. He then continued shooting on his way out of the church. Outside the church, Kelly was shot by a bystander. He then led that man and another bystander on a car chase. The gunman crashed his car and was found dead by police a few hours later. Officials say the shooting was not racially or religiously motivated. Victims of the shooting range between the ages of 18 months and 77 years old.
The trial for the man accused of starting the Bryan Head fire is scheduled for early next year. Robert Ray Lyman's lawyer requested a 3-day jury trial for his client. Lyman pled not guilty to starting the fire in early October. Lyman is charged with 2 misdemeanors, 1 count for reckless burning and another for failing to obtain a permit. If convicted, Lyman can face up to 18 months in jail and a $3,500 fine. The Bryan Head fire started on June 17th next to Lyman's cabin on Highway 143.
Skiers and snowboarders getting excited to hit the slopes may need to adjust their plans. Several Utah ski resorts are postponing their opening days, including Bryan Head. Opening day was originally scheduled for this Friday, but was canceled due to, quote, unfavorable weather conditions, end quote. The resort has not rescheduled their opening day. Meanwhile, Alta Resort in northern Utah also canceled their opening day with no new date scheduled. Park City Resort canceled its Friday opening day and rescheduled it for Thanksgiving. Some resorts, including Deer Valley and Solitude, are not even trying to open in November. Instead, they will start their seasons in early December. Coming up on SUTV, Amy will let you know if the resorts have a chance of getting any snow.
And later, Dan will give us an update in sports. Stay tuned.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag.
When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our community safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hi T-Birds, I'm Amy Andre and welcome to the weather segment. Today we're in the rotunda asking students if they know the temperature outside right now. So I'm here with Alex. Alex, can you tell us what year you are?
I'm a freshman.
And where are you from?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
So it's pretty cold for you, huh?
Very cold.
Okay, can you guess what the temperature is outside?
I'm gonna go like 50s.
You were close. It's 58, so it's a little warmer than you think, but still cold. Yes. We feel your pain. Okay, thank you, Alex. Hi, I'm here with Gustavo. Gustavo, what year are you in school?
I am a freshman.
And where are you from?
I am from Orem, Utah.
Ooh, fun. Okay, can you guess what the outside temperature right now is?
54.
Wow, you were so close. It's actually 58.
Oh, wow.
But you were really close.
All right, cool.
You know your stuff.
Yeah, I do know my stuff. I can feel it in here.
All right, we're going to take a look outside for the forecast. Hi T-Birds, we're outside now and let's take a look at Cedar City's forecast. So today the high is 59 degrees, the low is 50, and then tomorrow the high is 58 and the low is 14, and for Saturday the high is 48 and the low is 16, and Saturday's going to warm up a little bit and go back to 57 degrees as the high and 24 as the low. There's still no snow for the 10-day forecast. Also in Salt Lake there is no snow for the 10-day forecast as well. We're staying in the mid-50s and high 40s. So hopefully for all you snow bunnies that we'll be getting some snow soon. Thanks for watching. I know how.
Thanks for the weather update, Amy.
Dan, what do you have next for us in sports?
Well, my hair may be sticking out right now, but that doesn't mean anything's coming up. Here's the scoop on sports and on campus and far away from campus. Stick around for a little teensy bit.
What's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome to this Thursday edition of SUU Sports. We have been in November for way more than a week now, and my face is getting struffer by the minute, as you can tell right here. And down to business we go. Well, it's that time again. The Thunderbirds are set for their match with the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks to determine who wins the Big Sky Championship and would also lock themselves into a bye in the FCS playoffs. The Lumberjacks have had a similar road to the T-Birds, as they too scored a pile of victories after dropping their first 2 games this season. They stand at a 7-3 record, 6-1 in conference play, but just like the T-Birds. Both teams were solid, but the winner of this contest will get the biggest prize of the season. That's right, number 23 versus number 14 to decide who gets the spot representing the Big Sky. At this point last year, they beat up the Lumberjacks at Flagstaff 48-21 on the last game of the season, but this is a much different showdown. This Senior Day showdown could come down to the last second by just looking at it. The women's basketball team gave San Diego everything they had, but were unable to reel them in as they dropped a 72-59 decision to the Toreros. The team from San Diego pulled away at the first half of the game as they were up 35-16, all before the Thunderbirds mounted a brief comeback in the third quarter with strong scoring drives that eventually pulled them within 9 of the Toreros lead, but that is the closest they could get to as they dropped their preseason match. Natalie Sanchez was the team's highest scorer on the night with 14 points, while Kiana Johnson had the most rebounds overall, and Brianna Reed scored 12 for the T-Birds. The defeat drops their record to 0-2 after both games so far this regular season. Next up, the ladies hope to straighten up and fly right as they take on the Binghamton Bearcats at home on Saturday night. The team from New York has won 2 straight games, but thus far. But the Birds hope to stop their streak and get back to winning. Tonight, the men's team plays the San Jose State Spartans in the home opener. They are coming off back-to-back defeats to Oregon and Boise State, but are trying to get back in the right direction. The Spartans are 1-1 on the regular season, not counting the preseason thus far, and this may be their first away game of the season as they spent their first 3 games at home. Last year, the T-Birds weren't great, but are hoping for a much better season this time around for a turnaround. A win tonight might be the start of good things to come for the squad in the 2017 season. And that is the last for sports here at SUU for Thursday. Now, since this is also the Thanksgiving broadcast, it's time to say one of my favorite Thanksgiving quotes from Irv Kupcinet. An optimist is a person who starts a new diet on Thanksgiving Day. Hey guys, I got mine ticket for the NAU game. What about you guys?
Well, I'm working it, so I have to get it. Yeah,
I will also be working.
So we're going to be there. We're just not going to be in the stands.
Yes, but it's okay because either way we get to see them win.
Yeah, either way we get to see it happen, which should be really exciting.
Yeah, no doubt.
You think they're going to win?
Of course.
Okay.
Why would I say no? Thanks for the update, Dan. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about the recent Guitars Unplugged event.
And we'll let you know about the testing center. Stay tuned.
Listen up. Each year, hundreds of promising research studies go unfunded for breast cancer, for lung cancer, every cancer. The American Cancer Society has been behind nearly every breakthrough in recent history. But there's still more work to do. So let's make sure that no research is silenced. Let's make noise. Let's make noise. Yeah. And let's finish the fight.
Toxic chemicals and carcinogens are leaching into the environment. It's happening right where we live, work, and play. Everywhere. Cigarette butts are toxic waste. Let's stop the toxic litter. Learn more at rethinkbutts.org.
Last week, Bread and Soup Night was host to Thunder 91's Guitars Unplugged competition. Our reporter, Matthew House, brought us a story.
Mose Kwan, a South Korean accounting student, is the winner of Guitars Unplugged.
I have been playing guitar for 5 years. I just practice by myself and I've never learned, so I just studied here guitar by the general class. I have never
expected, and it's my first competition, and I got first prize. And actually, I was very nervous, so I couldn't play very well because my finger was shaking.
Mose Kwan and his technical ability. They were saying that he was showing technique that you can rarely see. So they were really happy with the decision and awarding him the $1,000 guitar package from Whittlesticks.
First place, his technicality on his instrumentation was just a little bit higher than the second place. So that's why he got higher points on that.
There were 10 SUU students and Cedar City community members competing to win a $1,000 value Canadian guitar donated by sponsor Whittlesticks.
But overall, all the way 1 to 10, it wasn't as big of a difference as it's been in the past when I've judged. And that was pretty impressive this year that it was so close all across the board. There wasn't a big gap.
Cal Rollins, manager of KSU Thunder 91.1, said, "We love doing this to give SUU students and community members a chance to perform and also for them to share their music, as well as to share non-perishable food with needy SUU students through the food pantry."
The Cedar City Temple is officially open. The 17th Utah Temple opened on October 27th and drew over 18,000 people in its first weekend. The temple opening is expected to draw as many as 200,000 people over the next 3 weeks. The temple is 42,000 square feet and features woodwork and art from around the world. The temple is opening for public viewing until this Saturday. Its official dedication is December 10th. Tours of the temple during the open house are already full, but walk-ins are welcome. For more information, go to lds-church-temples.org.
The 2017 election results are in. Cedar City Mayor Miley Wilson won a second term in a landslide victory over opponent Ryan Durfee. Wilson won 75% of the votes in Cedar City, while Durfee carried 25%. In the City Council race, incumbent Ron Adams held on to his seat by 37 votes, while former Utah Shakespeare Festival director Scott Phillips secured the second seat with 40% of the votes. In statewide races, Provo Mayor John Curtis won the hotly contested seat in the 3rd Congressional District. Curtis beat Democrat Kathy Allen and the newly created United Utah Party candidate Jim Bennett to fill Jason Chaffetz's seat. Curtis was sworn in as the newest Utah representative on Monday.
The testing center is one of many resources currently strained by the increase of students on SU's campus. Our reporter Lizzie White talked to students about what should be done.
Southern Utah University's student body has grown at least 5% each year for the past 3 years. With an increase of students comes a need to expand resources on campus. One such resource that is currently being debated is the testing center.
The lines are too long. People have to wait a long time just to take a test, and it's just crowded in there. I don't like it at all.
The testing center has heard complaints regarding long lines, a lack of computers, and faculty misuse of its services. Running on $74,000 a year of education and general programs' state-appropriated funds, as well as university revenue, the testing center will require an additional $50,000 a year to continue running as it does now. Student and faculty administrators are now trying to decide whether the testing center should remain in use. Supporters of the center have argued that students need the flexibility the testing center provides them with. Critics say that it is not helpful for most students and that they would rather have their tuition dollars at work elsewhere.
I really like it because I work, and my hours always change every week, and so, being able to have the testing center and, schedule my own tests is, really helpful.
I think we should keep the testing center. It has lots of great resources and opportunities, such as the tutoring lab, plus you can go there and get extra help on just about everything else.
The testing center is actually pretty helpful because that way you don't have to be rushed.
But every time I go there, I have to wait 3 hours, and that's really annoying.
I'm a fan of taking tests in the classroom.
I don't think that the testing center is used as frequently as it should be to keep it running. I know that a lot of times there's maybe one test going on there, and then sometimes it's really busy. So if they found a way to more efficiently run the testing center, I think that would be useful. But I think that we can all just take tests in class like we have since kindergarten.
If the center stays on campus, new solutions for funding must be found. Some possibilities have included charging late test fees to students taking their test on the last day it is available, not allowing faculty-proctored exams, and raising student fees. This prospect of raising fees has been met with mixed emotions from students and faculty.
I'd gratefully pay that if that means I can take the test whenever I need to.
I would support raising student fees in order to keep the testing center open.
I mean, it makes sense, but I also understand that students don't want more fees. So I'm always torn about more fees for things.
A lot of my teachers don't even have tests there, so if my student fees are going to a place that I don't have tests in, then it's kind of pointless.
If it's a substantial amount, then I mean, I guess just get rid of it, because we're all just broke college students just trying to get by.
Charging the entire student body and taking funding away, which may not directly influence the students but indirectly influence the students, isn't okay. Now there's creating a student fee. So if we find a hybrid model where professors or departments are paying for the proctoring of these exams, I think it'd be a lot better.
So Dan, how's that beard?
Well, it is growing still.
It looks really itchy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not not planning to shave until like we're closer to done with this month. So no shave November would be complete.
I admire your commitment, Dan.
Yeah, really. That sounds terrible to me, honestly. Thanks for taking the time to tune in this afternoon. That's all we have for you today. I'm Grace Schultz.
I'm Dan Lopper.
And I'm Colton Gordon. Thanks for joining us.